Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with day 2 of the best of 30 days of sketches with Christy's beautiful life. And today's sketch is one that you could totally do super simple, very little embellishment like she has on her sketch, or you can go crazy. So it's Susanna Lee. And I love these two little pictures. This V, I had a really neat idea in my head. I was not sure how it was going to turn out on the layout, but I am really happy with the way this ended up looking. And I'm going to use this Paper Studios cardstock floral geo. I'm running out of it, but I want to get these things used up. And I have these two cute pictures of my sweet little Tinkerbell and my son giving her some water out of a water bottle in the back seat of the car. I don't have any other embellishments picked out or selected. I have no idea other than the concept of what I want to do for that upside, or for the V at the top. I've got some scraps, which of course is my goal, to use scraps on every layout in 2022. There are floral papers in here that I could fussy cut. Spoiler alert, I don't. So I just really wasn't certain other than what I wanted to do with those V's. And so I've got my paper, my pictures, and this awesome sketch. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I did was go through the paper pad, and I started off thinking I was going to use this polka dot for my V's, and then I decided I wanted something darker, and so I flipped through, and I didn't want to use that rainbow paper there in the back. So then I'm thinking, what can I use for my base, because I don't want to use the polka dots anymore. I decided to pull in this stripe. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to check to see if I think it's going to work, but I'm going to use this big blue scrap right here. And I just completed a layout and actually used that missing piece for a mat. And I'm just checking to see if the V is going to, if the paper is big enough to make the V shape that I want for the top. And so my idea was that I wanted to, I really wanted to do some paper tearing, and I wasn't sure, like, I can envision what I want it to look like, but I'm not always as good at the logistics of how to get there. So I counted and kind of made this even on both sides, and then I just tore the paper and just made an L or a V, whatever you want to call it, and then I end up with two little sections. And so this one, which is the bigger one, I want to make sure that it's still going to work where I want it. And I'm trying to decide if I want it to be the straight side or if I'm going to tear the other side. And I decide, since that where you tear, the white is kind of disappearing into that pink and white stripe, I got these Stampabilities. These are like just little mini stamp pads. And I love to use these, especially when I'm doing this kind of inking, because I don't mind if something happens and they get torn up, because they're pretty inexpensive. I think they were $5 for a set of 12 or 16 or something. So I ink with the hot pink, or bright pink it is, on the inside of that V. And I'm looking at the sketch, trying to decide. And originally I had it to where the bottom one was going to come up to the corners. And then after, and I'm glad I paid attention, because I love the way that it looks coming down further. So I did tear it again, and then I inked where I tore it, making sure that the white torn paper shows on the piece that I'm using. So I realized that the V actually comes down lower and not up to the corners. And so I find where I'm happy with it. And I just grabbed some tear and tape, because I knew that it would hold a little better that way. It's more of a fast hold with the tear and tape. And so then after I get that placed down, I get the middle section and do the same. And so then I get I didn't want to use the same color, so I got my little stamps out that I have just stored over here in this little drawer. And I've got a piece of the scrap paper trying to see what's going to look best. And I end up pulling red, because there's little, they're not plus signs really, they almost look like, I don't know. Anyway, the little pattern has red and like a pink, yellow, and a white, and then a light pink. And so I tried the yellow because I really wanted to bring that in. But the yellow I have is like a bright yellow, and this is more of like a mustard yellow. So I get that inked with the red, and I get both sides done. And I love the way this looks. Now you can only see the bottom of it right now, but I am going to pull that down. I am still experimenting right now with placement and everything on my desk. And when I move, it's going to be a whole new ball game, and I'm going to have to try and figure out how to set things up for recording. But I'll figure it out, you all. Don't you worry. My plan is not to skip a beat. My goal for 2022 is to scrapbook a layout every day, and of course to use scraps every day. So far, so good. So I get this picture on here, and I've matted the picture in black because I wanted it to pop off that yellow paper. And then I matted on another scrap. So the black paper is a scrap, the yellow paper is a scrap, and the blue paper that I've made the V's out of are scraps. So yay me. So I decide I'm going to pull this stripe. I mean, I've already gone for the stripes. I've got the plaid. I figure I would go ahead, and the way that the paper lays, it is very lightly matted in like an orangey color. And I'm okay with that because it goes well with the paper pad, obviously, because it all came together from the same layout or from the same paper pad. So I get that matted down there, and I put it down to where it's covering the bottom tip of both the top and the bottom V. Now hers has the bottom of the V poking out, and I did consider that, but I liked the way that it looked this way. So I honestly was not looking at the sketch when I did it, so I was thinking the bottom was covered, and I was really trying to stick to the sketch. So obviously you need to pause your YouTube video and look at the sketch again. I need to print them. I have them. I went to print them yesterday, and our printer internet stuff was down. So anywho, so now I have pulled out a hodgepodge of things. What I just put down, it's kind of like a flask. I don't really have a water bottle. I probably do somewhere in my stash. But I thought this little water flask was kind of fitting. And so I put that up here, and that's from Crafter Square. So it's from the dollar store. And to bring that brassy color in, I kind of put this little humorous nod down at the bottom, and it just says best trip. This is after, if you all watched yesterday's video, we got a flat tire on our way to, we were already at the beach, but we were on our way to go into town to the outlet mall into Myrtle Beach, and on the way my car got a flat tire. So we had to go to the store, get a new one, and while we were waiting, of course our dog got thirsty on the way to Myrtle Beach. And so I cut a water bottle that we had in the car, and she drank out of the cut water bottle while my son held it. So I'm adding these little puppy paws, and they're not super in your face. You can almost barely see them over the video. But I wanted just a little nod to the dog, but not a super dog, layout. Like typically I use a lot of like papers and stuff, and I didn't want to do that. So I used those. I also used some Paper Studio shiny glittery hearts and hot pink and red, since those are the colors I used to ink around my torn V's. And then I pull this little camera out, and it says capture every moment. I just thought this was so cute. In the second picture, you can see like her tongue in the water bottle, and it's just, I don't know, it's funny. So then I pull my title, and it's from a Vicky Bouton thicker called Escape the Ordinary, and it just said, blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures. And this was definitely adventures. We got the tire done at Walmart, and of course she couldn't go in, so I kept her outside and wandered around over waiting for the tire to get done. And my husband and my son and my nephew, who were all in the car with me, went in the store and wandered around the store for like 45 minutes. So one adventure after another, honestly. So After I get all that done, I pull out these new recollection stamps that I just bought yesterday. I really love them. I've already used them on like 4 layouts, and I'm using that same red that I used to ink the inside of that V. And I thought about bringing in the hot pink as well, but I changed my mind and just decided to do some red, like really red, and some where it was almost like a secondhand stamp. And I tucked a couple of them in underneath and above the V's, and I put a couple right next to the pictures, and I just used this Post-it note. I don't even know what the Post-it note said. I just was using it. So hopefully it didn't have anything on there that shouldn't have been shared. Anyway, I just used that to keep from stamping on my picture and things. And then I got out this gold Jelly Roll pen. I love these pens. And since I've got a little gold in the title where it says Adventures, I thought I would bring that in. And then I made some little doodle hearts in a few different places to bring the gold kind of around the page, because I didn't want to do any splattering because I've already done the inking all around. So I decided after I drew a few little hearts here and there across the page that I would leave it at that. And after that, you're going to see the sketch again and then the up close of my layout. So I hope that you all are following along with all of the 30 days of sketches. The best of series is going to be so fun. I've only done the first 2 layouts, well, and day 4. So I'm looking forward to getting the rest of them done and seeing how the ones I've already done, how I can change them up from the ones before. And so that is going to be a new exciting adventure. And I did not rough up these edges. I just tore them. I had considered using my Tim Holtz Distresser to distress them, but I really just liked the way they were still laying flat but look distressed with the torn paper. So I really, really do love the way it turned out, you all. So I hope you all will go down below. There is a playlist. Instead of sharing everyone's links, there's a playlist, and you just type in hashtag best of 30D DSCBL, I think, and you will be able to see everybody's videos if they use that hashtag. So I hope I see you all again tomorrow for day number 3. Have a great day and happy scrapping.